feeling for a ball and you're listening to Rap Rankings with Moulz, or shall I say Moulz and Mel. Triple B and double R's forever. You know how we gets down with the get down, Triple B style. Big Baller Brand is in the building, baby, and this how it goes down. Y'all gotta listen up. I got something to tell y'all. That Rap Rankings ain't no joke. They keeping it right and tight. And if you don't get right, y'all go get left. So listen up to that rap podcast, man. There's something interesting and entertaining. That double I's. Keep doing your thing. But Big Ballers out, baby. And holla.
For who? Moulz, do you know the answer to this question?
No, what question?
It's Tana Talk 4. For who? Who is this Tana Talk for?
Oh, my goodness.
Look, okay, I don't want to hear from you or the audience. We haven't gotten to do one of these since September, all right? Pardon me if I'm rusty on first listen etiquette, all right? Got me in here.
This is Tana Talk 4. Now, granted, it took me a while to make the connection Tana as in Tony Montana.
Yeah, you had to explain that to me a few days ago.
Yeah, you know? I thought maybe it was a reference to a Japanese wrestler I had never heard of.
Oh, well, no, this is yet another rapper drawing comparisons to Tony Montana. But before I get critical too early, look, here's the thing. This is Rap Rankings, the show where we listen to, rate, rank, and discuss every album in hip-hop history. It's a special edition of the show that we do when we feel like doing some of these new albums. It's first listen, new album reviews. Hello, everyone. I'm Mel. Around our way in the Rap Rankings universe, I'm also known as the Virgin, the Love Guru, the Reader, the Junior Captain, the Wealthy Man. I hit again on FanDuel. They can't stop me right now. Who are you?
This is the Captain, Moulz. Although I may not be the butcher, I am the prepper and the cleaner and the trimmer.
Are we talking about the show or like pubes right now?
No, we're talking about meat.
Meat?
Yeah,
oh,
you know?
Okay. Right.
We're dealing with a butcher. Potentially Raekwon's meat supplier. Wait, that didn't sound right.
Yeah, no.
Anyway.
I was loading it up. Nah, keep talking, but I'm loading it up. You gonna get that. We
got a rating system. If you're new to the show, Mel's going to explain right after he hits me with the...
I'm going to hit you with what you've earned, okay? Here you go. Okay, so... Usually we got a button for this now. It's automated, but I can't press the button to do the automated rating system because, you know, it's at first listen. So some of the stuff in the automation doesn't apply to this, you know?
Right. So we're going to do it live. A very rare live read.
It used to be all the time until we automated it. But look, I can still do it. I said, you still got it. Okay. I'm going to do it. That's why they called me the Reader. All right. So here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
The rating system is simple. Each song is rated on a scale of 1 to 10. These numbers do not reflect the quality of a song, as that is indeterminable. Instead, each number reflects a level of enjoyment. In short, here's what each number means. 10 means, this is a perfect song to me, one of my favorite songs of all time. 9 means, I love it. 8 means, I like it a lot. 7 means, I like it. 6 means, it's alright. I don't dislike it, but I can't say that I like it. 5 means, I feel practically nothing about this. 4 means it's not the worst thing I've ever heard, but I dislike it. 3 means I dislike it. 2 means I hate it. And 1 means I absolutely can't stand it. One of the worst things I've ever heard. Side note, when you hear Moulz or I at a plus or a minus to those numbers, don't panic, don't fret, okay? They are merely indicators, those pluses and minuses, that mean one of two things. One, it's like saying a strong or light version of that number, you know, 6 plus, strong 6, 7 minus, light 7. Second thing, it's an indication that the rating could go up or down in the future. Now, on these first listens, that doesn't matter because these aren't going to go on the board that I'm going to explain real soon, you know, so you don't got to worry about that. But when you're listening to real episodes of Rap Rankings, okay, you know, the ratings aren't static. They can change. They can go up or down at any point, you know, because that's life. Things change. But yeah, don't worry about those pluses and minuses. No statistical or mathematical value whatsoever that come with those pluses and minuses. So, once every song on an album is rated, 3 separate ratings are determined: the takeaway rating, the average rating, and the weighted rating. The takeaway rating is the percentage of songs liked, that is, songs rated 7 or higher. For example, on a 10-song album, if you like 5 songs, the takeaway rating would be 50%. The average rating is the percentage obtained by dividing the sum of the song scores by the highest possible score that particular album can receive. For example, each song can receive a maximum score of 10 points. So if an album has 10 songs, the highest possible score will be 100 points. Or if it's like this album, 12 songs, highest possible score, 120 points. The weighted rating is the percentage obtained by adding the takeaway rating to the average rating and dividing by 2. Once we have our separate weighted ratings, we add those together and divide by 2, with the resulting percentage being considered the final and definitive rating used to ultimately rank the album on the giant board of every rap album in history. Lastly, for particularly high-scoring albums, there are special designations that... Wait. Oh, this doesn't apply. Right. See, this is where you're supposed to stop.
It doesn't apply. And I think we should say, you know, when we do reviews on our show, we spend all week listening to the album. We listen to the album at least 4 or 5 times.
Oftentimes, these are albums we've heard many times throughout our lives.
In the past,
too.
right.
So,
and, you know, these albums are typically a year older or more. So there's that period of, you know, the hype and the chatter and discourse around the album is removed from our reviews. When we do first listens, I mean, Mel, this album came out an hour and 6 minutes ago. We take notes as we're listening for the first time. It's a legitimate first listen. Tonight, that we're recording this, the album just came out.
We would prefer to not do this, but we get it. We know how the world works. This is what y'all want, the entertainment. Y'all want the hot takes, fresh off the presses, you know, off the what's off the cuff, off the hip, it's off something, but we're giving it to you, okay? And that's what you want. You want
I'd say for this particular artist, it's maybe off the meat hook.
Yeah, perhaps, yeah. We're butching still, you know, we're in the butcher shop. But I almost launched into that record club explanation.
We're not butching, we're butchering.
What's okay, that was accidental. Okay, don't do this to me. I'm not. Why would it get to? Come on, I don't deserve that. Really, it was an accident. But I'll hit the drop. Okay, fine, I'll hit it. I guess I'll hit it here.
Time to play that
game. What? Triple H, hip hop homophobia. I said something that I accidentally referred to. You know, what drop were you talking about?
Papaws.
Papaws. Okay. All right. I guess. All
right. Anyway. Listen, before we get into this, I'm sure we have some new listeners, as we tend to attract on these first listen new album reviews. Who are you as a Benny the Butcher listener? Are you a hater? Are you a lover? You a stan? I mean, where do you stand with this artist? Before we go in, we should tell people, you know, our familiarity with the artist.
Yeah, they should know where we stand. Okay, our perspectives going in. And I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to bring it up. You want to explain first? Or should I go?
Me?
Yeah, you. Captain?
Sure.
You're the captain. He's the captain, folks.
I'll lead like a good captain should. Mm-hmm. My familiarity is Griselda is a collective that I was initially hesitant to because I thought, okay, I'm noticing there's a lot of people who I feel like are trying to imitate what Rock Marciano popularized,
pioneered.
Right. So, you know, to me, at first, I was like skeptical of them. And oddly enough, I've gotten into associated acts and acts who are associated acts of those acts before I really got into Griselda. So, you know, Mach Hami and the God Fahim. I know Mach had some dealings with Griselda early on, but when I started listening to him, he was independent of them at the moment. You know, Your Old Droog and so on and so forth. Eventually kind of coming around to Griselda, I would say in like 2018, as like, okay, these guys are like, I feel like they're here to stay. You know, like that's something that happens in general with rappers. It's like, all right, let's see if they stick around. You know, so many rappers come and go. It's like, all right, let's see if they're here in a couple years. If they are, then I'll see what's up. And in my backlog listening of Griselda projects and listening to, you know, stuff from 2018 onward in real time, I can say that I dislike West Side Gun as a rapper, but he has the best ear for beats out of the three, like what I consider like the three central members. I feel like Benny the Butcher is the best MC out of the group, but maybe has the weakest beat selection out of the three.
Okay.
And then for me, Conway is right in the middle, where I don't think he's the best rapper in the crew, but he's not the worst by far. And I don't think he has the best beat selection because he just can't compete with the like the production lineup resume at this point of West Side Gun. But, you know, his beat selection has been typically, for me, better than Benny the Butcher's. So, oddly enough, Conway's been the artist I've gravitated to the most because, you know, it's almost the happy medium for me. Where it's like, yeah, maybe the bars aren't as consistently, like, hard or as, to me, like, as sturdy as, like, the Benny bars are consistently. I much prefer his beat selection. So, and I really can't deal with West Side Gun's rap voice, but more on that later. So I would say I like Benny the Butcher. I respect Benny the Butcher. I'm not a huge fan because I'm not, at this point, I'm not convinced in his ear for production, and that's a big facet of my enjoyment of music is the production, you know, and the backdrop and whatnot. So, you know, I have been impressed with him lyrically, though. So going into this album, I don't know, there feels like an air of like, is Benny about to take a leap? Is this about to be like his breakthrough album? And I know that Tana Talk 3 was an album that a lot of people hold in a very high regard as like, that's Benny's classic, like almost his consensus classic. So I think it's okay. I'm not in love with it, to be honest, but it's in the beat selection. And sometimes, especially Derringer, the tempo that his beats tend to sit in, a bit slow. It's not even the drumless aspect for me that like I get caught up on. It's almost like sometimes the really slow tempos, and I'm, you know, in some circles known as the tempo man. So too much slow tempo might sometimes drag me down a bit, but other than that, yeah, I think I stand neutral to positive on Benny overall.
Okay. Well, me, on the other hand, this is a group that I've been subjected to discourse about because they seem to be very popular and have been for the past, I don't know what, 4 or 5 years, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they came on the scene in 2015, but I think they really started making noise, and this discourse surrounding them started in like probably 2017.
Yeah. So, you know, we Moulz and I, you know, often on the phone, we discuss these people that we see other people discussing. And in our classic patented rap speak, look, go to raprankings.com for the explanation FAQs. But we would always be on the phone like, oh, those Griseldos dropped again. They're talking about the Griseldos again. And, you know, it was something that I knew as a rap fan. I always give everyone one shot at least, you know. You know, what varies is when I'm actually going to get around to it. But I knew I would sit down and listen to them eventually. So the first time I tried was, what was that? 2018, 2019 when they dropped that debut?
Oh, WWCD on on Shady. Was that like their group album, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was 2019, if I'm not mistaken.
I tried to get through that, and it was one of those DNFs, did not finish, which is different from the CNF, which is could not finish. You know, so it's like, all right, look, I got other things I could be doing with my time, you know. So I turned it off, you know, and which means I still didn't have a formulated opinion about them, which is why, you know, I ain't hit the timeline talking all. I mean, I tend to not talk all crazy online anyway, but you know, it's like I don't want to talk about something that I haven't given a chance yet. But from what people were discussing, it's a lot of, you know, these guys are modern day legends, you know, they're goats.
A lot of
in the
Wu-Tang
field.
comparisons, you know, especially with Ghostface and Raekwon. Benny the Butcher gets a lot of Jay-Z comparisons and makes a lot of Jay-Z comparisons about himself as well. Right. More on that in the actual
I heard some interpolation in this album of certain things, but yeah. Well, look, the point is, you know, I finally, just a few weeks ago, actually, heard a Griselda album front to back, and it was this recently released Conway album. What is it? God Don't Make Mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, I quite enjoyed it. Actually, I'll go ahead and tell y'all because I mean, you know, it's very. I liked all but one track on that thing. Okay, so things were looking up after my first Griselda experience. I'm like, okay, you know, right. But
and
based
we both
on what,
like this single off,
this Johnny P's Caddy, which we'll be discussing shortly, you know. But I basically just like, okay, look, you know, I'm like, all right, you know, these Griseldas. All of the mythologizing and, you know, what I thought may have been a hyperbole, maybe they'll live up to the hype. I don't know. I like this Conway guy, and based off of that one album and like features I'd heard, my ranking of them was like, okay, it seems like Benny the Butcher is the best rapper in the group, and then Conway, then West Side Gun, right? Which is basically your lineup as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I still believe that. I just heard this album. I'll still stand by that ranking.
And so, me having never heard a Benny album or a West Side Gun album, I could really only speak on the rapping that I'd heard, you know, before I could like rank them as, you know, music makers, you know, project.
Right. But I would say that
compilers.
At least me as your friend, like taking the temperature on Griselda with you, there seems to be more goodwill going into this review for them than potentially any time you've gone into listening to their albums before.
Yeah. I mean, I went into this one with, you know, I don't want to say like high expectations, but having heard Conway, it's like, okay, I'm looking forward to this more so than like say 2019 where I'm like, I don't know what I'm in for.
My expectations honestly had a lot to do with track one, Johnny P's Caddy. I was thinking, wow, this is a very strong single. We'll get into why soon, but that kind of had me hype for this album.
Right.
So, you know, we happen to have some time to carve out to do this, and I thought, you know, we missed the Makami album that came out in December by a day because he dropped it on a Friday, contrary to Elliott Wilson and Andrew Barber's.
Don't believe rumors, folks. That's the moral of that story. If the artist didn't say it, then don't believe it.
Right.
All right. I don't care if it's Yellow Nigga or if it's whoever. All right. Just wait for the artist to speak.
We were doing the Juvenile review, I think, the week that the Conway album came out. So we were too busy that week. That review is... if you're a new listener, don't listen to that review fresh off of this one. It's a different.
I'm never gonna tell them to not listen to it. Like, listen, but just understand that episode went way off the rails. The third member, Jesse, shout out to Jesse. He was in the building. When he's in the building tends to kind of get wobbly. All right,
wobbledy even. But
oh yeah, wobbledy. Right.
Yeah, I'd say that, you know. The Conway album was something we were hoping to cover. It didn't get to that one. And, you know, now finally we'll get to do a first listen on a new album from a Griselda member.
Right. So, yeah, look, the thing is...
Been on the docket for a while in some ways. Not this album in particular, but just something from Griselda.
We wanted to get to one of these guys because we hear y'all like them a lot. And, you know, I was looking forward to this because You know, it's like there's a lot of baggage coming in. You know, they often ask me in the streets. I'll be in the supermarket, you know, shopping for caffeine and, you know, lubrication for my fleshlight, as I often do, and they'll be like, Mel. And I'm like, how do you know me? Rap Rankings. I'm like, oh, right. I'm like, what do you want? They're like, how do you feel about Griselda? And I'm like, well, you know, I'll let you know when we get to one of these first listens or something. And here we are, you know. So I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm pretty excited. I'm ready to get into it.
Got it. All right. Well, listen, we're gonna find out what's really going on, at least with one of these members, you know. So, without further ado, we got track 1, Johnny P's Caddy. But this was not produced by The Alchemist. This was
it's not?
beat. The bad website, aka genius.com, said Beat Butcher and Derringer.
Derringer. Hold on. I feel like that's not what you sent me.
I ain't seen. What I send you?
You sent me Benny the Butcher reveals track list for Tana Talk 4. Johnny P's Caddy, produced by Alchemist.
That came off of Reddit. We know about Reddit. All
right. Well, whatever.
They're
Whoever
both bad. The Genius Reddit.
It's a first listen. It doesn't matter. This is not.
We don't really mind production credits on first, because we literally listen and then cut the mic on. All right, you know. So, you know, the album's fresh out in the streets. We don't know our production credits and stuff. But what I do know, given that this is a single, you know, is I had some time with this. All right, and I gotta say, to me, it's an 8-.
Wow, I'm shockingly going even higher. Flat 8. Big me baby.
Yeah, okay. Well,
this is one of my favorite rap records of the year so far.
Same. Okay. You know, this thing came out, and, you know, admittedly, I listened because J. Cole. Okay, I'm a J. Cole fan.
I'm no fan of that guy, but I must say,
you're a fan of him. You like at least 10. Well, our metric, folks, is like, to be a fan of someone, you got to like at least 10 songs.
I'm not claiming him.
Okay, so statistically, you could be a fan if you wanted to claim it.
I could. Yeah, you have to. It's not just.
You also have to claim it. Right?
You also have to claim it at that point.
Okay. Right.
And then you got 10 songs you like, so you're not a fake fan. But I'm no fan of J. Cole. Okay.
Here's the thing about J. Cole. I would say I'm definitely a fan.
I'm not a J. Cole hate. I'm not like one of these fuck J. Cole people, but he doesn't do much for me.
And that's what I wanted to get to, because even I would say more than I'm a fan, but I'm probably more of a J. Cole apologist to anything, and that I don't support the narrative around him when it comes to like acting like he's worthless and adds no value to hip hop. Now, if people want to start talking about is he one of the GOATs conversations, I can't really meet people there who think that he's like, you know, top 5 all time. As much as I like him, you know, I don't really put him in that realm. But I say all that to say,
we did this is one review. Of those. We did a Born Sinner review. It's on our
check it out. Born Sinner. What was that? Season 5.
I don't hate J. Cole. I'm not like a J. Cole hater by any stretch, but he's just not. We did an off-season first listen.
Oh yeah, we did. Right, we did a first listen.
I didn't hate that album. I think I liked half or maybe 1 over half on that one.
Yeah. The point, folks, is that what happens here, and this Benny the Butcher song, this is one of those J. Cole performances that makes me proud to be a fan. This is something I can point to.
What's up there with it? Because this is the best verse from him I've ever heard.
Oh.
And don't say that damn Good Friday's looking for trouble shit, because you'll be disqualified off jump.
No, come on, I'm not talking about that. No, I wouldn't say that. That's what they say. All right.
That's what I'm saying. Don't disqualify yourself before you even put forth that. And not that song from Letterman either. That's a different vibe.
This, as I believe when this song dropped as a single, I called you and I was like, what makes this verse work is that usually people can point to like one bar or something of like he'll be doing great, and then it's like you'll like wince, you'll cringe.
Yeah, there's always that one botched bar, in my opinion, or
right.
odd delivery or
that
something
that kind of takes you out of it.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen here, to me. Okay. But we'll get to J. Cole in a second. This is a Benny the Butcher album. And I gotta say, spoiler style, because, you know, you got 11 more tracks here, but this is probably his best rapping on the album to me.
Who's that, Benny?
Yeah.
It's up there. There may be There's like maybe 2 other verses from him on this album that could qualify.
I agree. They're like exactly 2 others. Yeah.
But I wouldn't be mad at that. I just heard this album once. I've heard this song now 3 times. So this is the song I've heard more than everything else, which I've only heard once. But I gotta say, off top, best Alchemist beat I've heard in years. I've been hypercritical of Alchemist because he was one of my...
I mean, assuming this is an Alchemist beat.
Yeah, if this is an Alchemist beat, it's like a top 1 Alchemist beat of like the last 5 years, easily. Like best. I haven't heard a beat from him, and across this album, if the beats that are credited to him on my end were the beats that he made, I feel like he's putting up a fight, and like a lot of these beats feel like he's given me the middle finger for some of my comments about his recent somewhat lackadaisical approach to production. But
I just checked the credits on one of the streaming services. It says Alchemist.
It's Alchemist, bro.
So is
I'm
it
telling
Alchemist?
you, it's Alchemist. It's Alchemist.
Okay. Well, then
It's
if
Alchemist
it's Alchemist, then shout out to him.
Because Alchemist, like, when the shit dropped, he was, like, promoting it. Like, he wouldn't have been pushing it like that if he wasn't the producer.
Pushing P, as the kids say.
Well,
Pushing
he's pushing
production
Johnny
credits. Yeah, put Johnny V.
Johnny
Okay.
Panic, by the way.
Johnny Panic, Johnny Polygon.
No,
Lots of
we
good
don't know
Johnny
about
P's
him.
out here. Okay.
But, yeah, the beat, man, and then the sample of the all that I want is you. That's the shit. Drums are real sturdy. They're knocking, sounding real good. Then we get a passionate and very well constructed verse from Benny. But I wrote, it somehow gets surpassed by J. Cole's excellent verse. Perhaps the best I've ever heard him spit.
This is, you reminded me of a point I wanted to make. If J. Cole rapped like this all the time,
Oh my God, he would be.
then
one of
I
my
would
favorite-
entertain those like top 5 all time.
He would be one of my favorite modern day rappers if he rapped as good as he did on this song on every song from here on out.
Right. I mean, here on, what's the opposite of here on out? Here on before. Like, I'm saying since he burst on the scene, if he had always rapped like
oh my
this,
God, bro, we'd be in the
That's what
presence
I'm
of
saying.
greatness.
then he would be like, he gets the Nas comparisons, whoever comparisons.
He gets the Nas comparisons, but it's like, I don't believe those comparisons. It's like, it's fake. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin wrestling Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. It's
We
like,
don't need to talk
just
about
because
that.
you do the stunner doesn't make you ain't Austin.
You ain't. Okay. We know about you, Kevin Owens, but this ain't new age wrestling rankings. J. Cole, if you rapped like this all the time, then you'd probably be, in my mind, worthy of that conversation. But he does get the best of Benny the Butcher here, which is not to say that Benny the Butcher was slacking, because like I said, this is some of the best rapping from him. This is why going into this album I was excited, because when you hear things like, my ability to turn words to imagery, probably the reason they gonna remember me, figure me walk this tightrope with a feline's agility, the streets did so much shit to me I could never live civilly. I love that line. Okay, that line, because I'm traumatized Mel, I'm always squirrely looking over my shoulder because I expect life to me at every second, every turn. Okay.
I do think this is an interesting choice as an intro, because it kind of just comes on and you're like, oh, okay, we're doing this right now.
Maybe he did it for, I mean, I wonder though, because do you think this was sequenced before the single was dropped? Or
interesting. I don't know.
Because this could be one of those things like, oh, the single popped, I'll just put it first.
Nah, one thing I will say about Griselda and the people who work on these albums, the sequencing is intentional. Like,
okay.
I actually just saw a tweet from the person who executive produced the Conway album, and he was talking about his his methodology in terms of the sequencing and how he wanted to start with like some of the grimier, harder joints and then move into some of the more emotional cuts on the second half. Like, sequencing on these Griselda albums, you got to think also on a 12-song album, you have to be very intentional with the sequencing. And based on the outro of this album and how the sound breaks down and fades out, I do think this album was sequenced with intent. So,
okay.
I'm not saying it's a bad choice to open with. It just feels almost kind of abrupt. Like,
it's sudden. Yeah.
It almost feels like a track 2 to me. Like, that there needed to be an intro before we just go right into this. But this is a very good record. Yeah.
And, Wine's like, I mean, I don't know all of the lore about Griselda, because I haven't, I'm not as tapped in as the Griselda super fans. And, but when he says like, they want to know what I brought to Griselda, I say validity. That line is hard, but I don't know who these people are asking this question, but I love this line. But yeah, look, as much as I am engaged, with what he's rapping on here, Cole comes in, man.
But the thing is, I've heard Benny like this before.
Okay.
I've heard Benny sound like this on tracks. Like, I just listened to his album with Hit Boy. I heard his album with Harry Fraud. They're like 9 tracks each, so they're almost EPs. But, like, I've heard Tana Talk 3, so I've heard at least 3 projects from this guy prior to this, and I've heard plenty of features from him as well. Like, I've heard Benny in this bag before. I've not quite heard J. Cole in this bag.
He does this in spurts. J. Cole can be one of the best rappers on the planet when he wants to be. This is one of those moments where, what I appreciate about a sequence like, of course, I'm trying to revive a sport that's dying, but the guns and the drug bars that y'all rely on got these nerds thinking that you niggas hard as I am, but that just mean I ain't as comfortable as y'all with lying. I appreciate that because that could have been as cliche as things come. Okay, it's like, how many times have you heard the rapper rapping like, oh, the rest of y'all are just talking about cars and clothes and jewelry and money, right? It's like, come on, you got to... What happened is he subverted that. Because he didn't like moralize it. He jumped over it. It's like, no, he's not telling you this stuff is bad. It's like, he's challenging your integrity. It's like, oh, no. See, listen, y'all all lying. It's cap. Basically, I'll be fine with y'all talking about it. I just don't believe that y'all really be doing it. That's why that line is hard. Stretching the truth. No, I never stress in the booth. They feel the pressure. Me, I feel like I just left the masseuse. He's doing things that make me proud to be a J. Cole.
He's getting surgical on this one, and
getting surgical.
He also has really high levels of passion and conviction in his delivery as well. So
yes,
setting a high bar here with the intro. Setting a high bar.
Can I just say in this day and age where rap has kind of shifted away from like the straight up punchline era that like maybe like a mid to late 2000s Wayne ushered in.
It's coming back.
It's coming back in a way. But I say that to say like it's been a long time since lines could make me like singular lines, like punchlines could like give me that scrunch face, because rap kind of moved away from that. And at the same time, I feel like we heard so much of it done so well. Like after Wayne, it's like, I don't want to hear punchlines from no one else because y'all not going to touch what this man gave me across mixtapes and such from like, 05 to when he got locked up, But I remember the night I heard this song, Nigga want me on the song.
What
see the
killed
wrath for the Reaper. I'm probably gonna go to hell if Jesus asks for a feature. I actually had to, I made the face.
That's a hard. I
made
bar.
the face.
That's a Nas Prodigy caliber type bar that I would expect to hear from one of those. But I'll tell you what. I remember reading articles about Kanye West in Hawaii working on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and he had shit on the walls like. He had basically like instructions on the walls for all the people that he brought in to write to not do certain things. and one of them was no punchlines. So for
no
a while,
punchlines, fam.
It was quiet for punchlines, but I'm telling you, punchlines, I'm going to say since like 2019, punchlines have been making a comeback, and it continues to this day.
Yeah.
They're making a comeback.
You know, I mean, I can sit here all night and talk about the merit of a punchline and the execution of a punchline to really make it punch, but you know,
Kanye killed punchlines for 9 years, but they're coming. They're back. Basically, they're back.
He I don't know, his rules and his freaking Hawaii.
His rules have disintegrated to Sunna Wanna Thunna Dunna.
I mean, yeah, we know he's making demos now and putting them out as, you know.
That's why you don't get a first listen new album review of Donda 2.
It's not a real album, okay? It doesn't exist in any marketplace. It exists on a glorified Simon, okay?
It exists exactly on a freaking Tamagotchi.
Yeah,
with,
so
audio output. So anyway, flat 8 on Johnny P's Caddy. Anything else?
Yeah, I just want to say, while I do like the beat, I think they out-rap the beat. The beat's good. I like it. It's serviceable. It's a good backdrop. I feel
these verses are top tier. So
yeah,
I'll take it. But I think this beat is phenomenal. Especially
it's a good beat.
Having heard Alchemist's limp ass beats for so many years now, to hear a beat with like, and throughout this album, really his drum programming, it's back. It's back.
Yeah, it's sure.
Okay. There's only one drumless beat on this album, though.
You sure it was just one? I mean, look, I've only heard it once, but I feel like maybe like a third of the album was drumless.
Nah, not at all. Track 4, that's it.
Okay.
Everything else had programming on it.
Well, listen, I like a good drumless beat. Keyword good. But for y'all that can't make a good drumless beat, I got a message for you.
The shit ain't got no fucking drums in it, man. Damn. Why don't you put some fucking drums in the music so I can get down the business?
Okay. That's all I'm asking. You know. But anyway. You want to move on?
Yeah.
All right. Track 2. Back 2 times. 2X. Back. Yeah, back.
Featuring
who's on this?
Stove God Cooks.
Oh right, yeah, Stove God. Right, we're gonna be reviewing him later.
By
this
Derringer and Beat Butcher.
Okay. Well, they should have took this back to the drawing board. Flat 6. Yeah.
7-. Ding me,
okay.
Baby.
But before we move on, can I just say? So here's the thing. You might not know about this, but the phrase "bag," okay, that's AAVE, okay. Now I say you might not understand because
and you ain't black,
but like back, it's spelling it out, it's back, but like it's slurred in such a way. Like I grew up saying it, and I remember it was like years ago. I really thought about it, and I'm like, what am I? Because the implication is like back up, like you tell me back. It's but like back, like you're telling like
I've always heard back in the context of the back of like there's a minivan with 2 different rows of back seats.
What?
So there's the back, and then there's the back.
Are you lying?
No.
Are you telling stories? Have
you never been in a minivan before, Mel?
Of course I have, but I don't usually hear people use the phrase back. What? Oh, is it like Travis Scott? That's in the back of the back seat. Whatever that's supposed to be.
I don't know. Whatever.
We know about it. Okay, Astro World review out now. But yeah, look, the thing is like back. Usually, growing up, I'd say it's like somebody too close. You're too close, man. You're talking back. But that's what this is.
Is that AAVE or is that Midwest VE?
You've never heard back?
Not in that context, no.
Yeah, maybe it is some Midwest stuff. I don't know. But yeah, this is back, and yeah, listen.
You give it a flat 6?
Yeah, it's alright. That's what flat 6 means.
This one slows down the tempo to your average like Griselda, Derringer sort of song. Benny has some lines in his verse that I like. I'm eating caviar off ciabatta that's chopped thin. Some good food bars on this one.
That sounds bad. Bar. Caviar on ciabatta?
Ciabatta, you know, the bread.
The bread.
The ciabatta bread.
That can't be good. That's good?
It's just a good bar, you know? It's some fly shit.
He's pulling the wood. That's that. Come on, that's that aesthetic talk. All right, you got to stop and think about that. So he's eating.
He's eating it on the ciabatta.
What is that? What is caviar? It's like, what is it, like fish eggs or something?
Yeah, you know, you eat caviar because you eat sushi. It's in there.
But like, it's just fish eggs on. So what is it, like an egg sandwich?
Kind of. It's like it's a delicacy, is what he's saying.
I think he's just throwing mildly fancy sounding things.
Yeah,
together,
it's a flex.
Hoping that people think it's a flex.
It's better than your boy Drake talking about spaghetti bolognese all the time.
Yo, when a boy talks about the bolognese, you wouldn't even know about that. You bean, you know, like you got to understand when the man is chilling at, you know, eating with the what did he eat, the risotto? Or something like that. Like, I don't want to hear you're a waste. You never had any fine cuisine or none of that, you know? But anyway,
look, I'm not feeling it. It was a hard opening line to me. Some of his sequences on this verse definitely gave me Jay vibes for sure. He said, I took orders quick and fancy in the kitchen like Gordon Ramsay. A lot of food bars on this.
Brother.
I think it's a solid verse from Benny on here. Stove on the hook. I gotta say, though, Stove God's usually a show stealer.
Right, he is. I think we're going to be on the same page here.
He's a guy that, like, you know, when I see he's featured on, like, a West Side Gun song, I go out of my way to listen to that song to hear his verse. And he's oftentimes a show stealer when he's on a song. He'll usually have, like, one bar that will just make me die laughing. I have to say, I feel like his verse was a bit mailed in on this one for me. Like, I think Benny got him on this one. This was not a top tier performance from Stove God that we would get on like Reasonable Drought or his features. I was not totally impressed by him on here, but I thought the beat was decent. Didn't love it. More so the tempo we were locked into wasn't my favorite. I liked Stove God on the hook more than I liked his verse. I'm actually kind of surprised. 7-.
I don't think anybody got anybody. I think they were both
Benny had some fly bars.
What, saying he's Bodie James and Tupac? You like that?
It was a good line.
No, okay, all right. Listen, folks, you're new here, so you might think Moulz is being honest, but he's lying. All right, he's capping. He's being intellectually dishonest.
He's telling us what he is.
Okay,
I heard it once, man. Jesus Christ, you're holding me to. You're making it seem like it's a second listen.
I've heard you talk about Bodie James in private, which is why
I got bars for Boring James. He's on track 4.
Okay. Anyway,
listen, don't act like I would lie. I like that bar.
Okay.
Because he is like Pac meets Boring James. Because Pac was one of the GOATs, and Boring James, that's kind of where Benny sits for me, right in the middle.
Okay, sure. Yeah, look, it's songs like this.
You ain't food talk, okay?
You bring it back to the freaking ciabatta with the fish eggs on it. I'm not feeling that. That sounds fake to me. All right, that sounds like he didn't expect anybody to stop and think about that.
Red wine and cheese before bedtime.
Don't do that. Please don't do that. Don't. God. Folks, you don't know what he just did, but that was a very traumatizing thing he just said to me. Talking about red wine and cheese before bedtime.
Oh, shit. Get out of here. I've just got a scoop.
You ain't got no scoop.
Dude, this is big. Hold on. I think because we're doing a Griselda album, the people who are listening, even the new listeners, they'll understand who I'm talking about here. Mel, Nia Jax is going to get vaccinated.
I know where this is going. Okay.
I can't believe it. But I wouldn't bring it up if it didn't have something to do with this review. Apparently, Benny the Butcher is going to be making her theme song.
What?
Yeah, she's coming back to WWE. And the reason that they hired him is because they're going to bring her back in a new gimmick that's basically almost based on how people perceive her and her work online within the internet wrestling community. So apparently the beat is going to come in and the entrance theme is going to start with Benny saying, "The botchers come in redacted."
Folks, Moulz uses redacted on the show because...
And you ain't black.
You know, he ain't black, so we appreciate that from him. But, listen, Nia Jax would immediately catapult my all-time power rankings if they ever actually pulled that. The botcher coming would be amazing.
Oh, wow. Jesse, third member style, just sent in the DMs in the rap chat. Kevin Durant just tweeted an hour ago, "Stove God, one of the best rappers in the world. Appreciate that, man." And Jesse provided the commentary, "Check cleared." We do have a drop for that, by the way.
We do, although I don't think the check cleared. I mean, he is a great rapper. I mean...
Off this verse, though?
We know about Jesse.
Making that statement off this verse?
Oh, right. Okay, this was a tweet from tonight. So
off
what?
Maybe
KD
the most
maybe
the most mid Stove God guest feature I've ever heard.
Well, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna hit the thing, but it wasn't check clear. Because here's the thing: I'm glad you brought this up now because I know why he said this. Because his whole verse on this track too, lots of basketball references.
Oh, right. Yes, tons of sports references.
Kyle Lowry and Harold Miner and like. He had a line about like Barkley and the Rockets because, you know, he was
like that John Morant song you played the other day better.
Well, that is a good song, even though it hurts me as a Steph Curry fan. But yeah, he's like something about the Rockets. You know, Barkley had a stint with the Rockets late in his career. He's like, "And I ain't bring a chip home." All right, leave players alone for not winning chips. Well, look, I'm a big chip fan, a championship fan. I would prefer my favorite players to have one, but it's like, you know, they always tease Charles Barkley. Lots of great players never got a chip.
I'm saying they did. They got sour cream and onion, barbecue.
No, you're not getting the badums for that. I'm not.
They got freaking cheddar, sour cream and cheddar.
Bad.
Okay, sour onion, sour.
We gotta bring. It's been so long since we played that drop. Oh my god! Hold on, no, I gotta bring that back. Jesus, that's like a season 0 a rap rankings drop. Oh my god!
These are the chips that Charles Barkley and Steph Curry are taking home.
Lay's potato chips. Just can't eat one. Yeah, Lay's potato chips. I love me some chips, man. Some corn chips. You know, barbecue chips. Sour onion, garlic, sour.
Sour onion, garlic, sour. Oh man, it's been so long.
Sour onion, garlic, sour shirts coming soon. A Halloween drop for the boogeyman himself.
Wow. Well, let's hope we don't get sued by the boogeyman. But and I caught your little dig. Curry got chips. All right, he got 3 of them.
Well, you didn't get one.
You ain't basketball. I don't want to hear from you.
I'm basketball.
No, you're not. But listen, as much as I understood these references from Stove God Cooks, but they were aight. You know, they were fine. I've heard better sports
I'm disappointed
bars.
Because when one of my guys doesn't deliver, I feel like it's a mark against me as well as a aficionado, as a scout, you know?
I guess. Yeah, look, man.
The stove was turned to medium on this one. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you didn't turn the what is it like? What's the highest degree a stove can be turned up?
That would be high, Mel.
Well, no, that's like the stove top. I'm talking about that's an oven. I'm an idiot. I'm a dummy. I'm stupid.
Oven god Mel. It goes up. I think an oven goes to 450. Typically, maybe 500. Yeah, maybe 500. I think 500.
I gotta look into that. I don't know about.
I believe 500. Oh, you don't trust me?
No, we know you ain't food. By the way, I got this picture. I typed ciabatta and caviar. This looks like the black plague. It looks moldy.
Thinly
you got these
sliced
black eggs on this bread.
You're looking at this picture the wrong way. You got to look at it from the perspective of a man who's living a life where you eat things that taste bad for status.
All right. Listen, this doesn't look like you eat this and an hour later we talk about the boo-boo coming, nigga.
More like an hour later, this fucking alien xenomorph pops out of your chest.
Yeah. This is not safe for consumption. Okay, this is not good. But yeah, look, what can I say? I do like the line from, I just read, first listen style. I wrote notes as I was going, trying not to get too distracted from the song. It was either I think it was Benny that said, like, basically keep good people around you because, like, you're going to need them when they read the Miranda rights. Like, you don't want no snitches in the circle. And he's right. You got to build the right team. All right? Make sure you ain't got no cracks in the circle. People are telling you. All right? I don't want that. The beat, I said it's kind of droning, humming along. It's at its best when it's like this little, it's not a drop, but it's like they had this little element like at the, like, what is it, like at the end of every 8 bars or something. I don't know. I only heard it once. But yeah. Only other note is at the beginning of the song, he was talking, and I didn't catch what he said, but it sounded like y'all want me back on that dandruff shit. And
he said, "Do y'all want me back on that Derringer shit?"
Oh, first listen, okay.
Y'all want me back on that dandruff shit?
That was what Mel was thinking in 2015 when he had to cut his hair to join corporate America, and everybody missed long, shaggy-haired Mel. Yeah, and I did eventually get back on that dandruff shit for 7 years, and I just cut it a few weeks ago. So, anyway, anything else?
No.
Okay. Well, we can move it along. Track 3, Super Plug. Produced by The Alchemist, presumably?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Well, 6+.
Okay. 7- for me. Ding me, baby.
Okay.
I popped for the classic ALC tag, the Alchemist.
Yeah.
This is in the Griselda tempo. Like, this is like kind of in the same tempo range as the last song. Piano-driven beat. At first I thought, I don't know if I like this. Then the piano randomly switches up every, like, couple bars. And I like that part. So I kind of got into the beat. And then there's some stuff I noticed going on in the background of the beat that kind of adds some dramatic flair.
I wrote dramatic noise.
Yeah. I did not really care very much for Benny's first verse on this song. Kind of to me. But perfect verse alert for the second.
Oh, brother, really?
The second verse. Great storytelling and anecdotal bars. Second perfect verse on the album. The first being Johnny P's Caddy. Might have saved the record for me. 7-. If it wasn't for his second verse, I might have bailed on this one.
Perfect verse alert. Now, see, now I definitely gotta hear it again because you don't be throwing those around all willy nilly. I mean, I literally wrote.
I said he's got 3 on this. I say he got 3 on this album. This is the second one.
Well, you didn't say 3 perfect verses. You just said 3 standout performances, basically.
These are great verses. What do you want me to say?
I wrote I ain't catch no bars. So I said he got out-rapped by the beat. I'm a big fan of this beat, okay? Mel's wacky scenario.
I wasn't sure how I felt about it until that one little element came into it.
I like it because it's eerie. This, folks, if you're new here, Mel, that's me. I often the beats remind me of things, and this is where you get Mel's wacky scenarios. I said this beat sounds like working in a lab, tiptoeing, trying to be careful not to wake the Mewtwo in the tank. That's what this is to me. Like, I'm trying to not wake up a specimen that's in a tank that could destroy everything. The keys. They almost have like that sort of like, what is it, like echolocation sort of ping to it. Mm-hmm. I think he got out-rapped by the beat,
Interesting.
And this is why. Okay, we talk about this on the show all the time. You know, I don't need to relate to bars to like them, but he is so heavily on this wave on this album of, you know, like, okay, I'm the drug rapper, I'm a real trapper. Like, it's like, okay, so mileage is gonna vary on this. All right. From what I've heard, based on his music, and you know, I don't know the man, but I'm not here to like call his I think his credentials check out. I can't call his authenticity into question. I mean, you know, I'm a virgin, okay, and I'm homies with the Dare Lion, okay. I ain't never sold no drugs, but this talk does nothing for me, you know. And I also ask, like, I don't know what a non-drug dealer would get out of this,
right? But here's the thing. You liked We Got It for Cheap Volume 2.
Right.
You
so it's not that it's his specific way of speaking about this. I mean, they're fly talking. They're stylish, you know, the clips on that tape, you know. Yeah. So this is more, what could I say?
I'd say it's grittier, it's harsher, you know?
It's just, I wouldn't even call it grittier or harsher. It's just more straightforward and, you know, there's a specific word.
Well, it's a bleak life, and the songs about it are often bleak.
I'll hit that for him, even though, you know, here, this is for you, Benny.
That music was happy, and it believed in love, and it was cheerful, and it was musical, and now you get this music that is so sad and so angry.
Well, it's a bleak life, and the music about it is often very bleak.
That's Mel comparing, like, Got It for Cheap Volume 2 and Reasonable Drought to Superplug.
It's just... I feel like I'm just subject to a drug dealer going through drug dealer jargon, you know? Like, I can't get anything out of this, you know? There's no utility in this for me. I don't move weight, you know? I think this beat deserved more. I think this would have been the perfect backdrop to really do something crazy on. But, you know, he's just talking about caught my first case and had to move into my pop's house. But, like, basically that didn't stop him, and he was, like, stashing it in his pop's couch or something like that. It's like, okay. You know, that ain't the life I live personally. So how much can I get out of this, you know? Basically my takeaway. I really like the beat, but the content, it's not for me. It's not for old Mel.
Alchemist's back. He's back.
Alchemist back. Hashtag Alchemist back, I guess.
He's back.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got here. You got anything else?
No.
Okay. Well,
great storytelling and anecdotal bars. I think I said that already, though.
Okay. Yeah, you did. All right. Well, we can move it along to track 4, Weekends in the Perrys.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather spend my weekends at home. Flat 6.
Moulz Mel Connect, Flat 6. This is, for me, the first miss.
Now, this doesn't have any drums. This beat
doesn't.
It has the drums in the sample, you know.
Yeah, but this is the only non-programmed drums beat on the whole album.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm tripping, but I feel like there's another one.
I listened in monitors, turned up real loud. I heard it for what it is.
Well, I listened in Audio Technica headphones.
Oh, we know about you listening in those damn headphones.
Headphones. Look, these are industry standard headphones. Okay?
And we know about the industry. Industry rule number 4080, record company people are shady, and they sold you these damn headphones.
Oh my god.
I don't use headphones.
No, sure you don't. At the beginning, he's talking. He says some shit. You ain't gonna never change, so don't worry about it. Listen, easier said than done. I wish I could adopt that mindset, but it's
Alchemist
difficult.
is back, but he forgot to add drums to this one beat. We're not gonna hold it against him. It's a sped up soul sample. There's some chops spliced in that I liked, but I don't know. I think like really the whole thing about like all this conjecture about drumless beats, quote unquote, it's sample dependent ultimately, because like there's plenty of them
good
that
drumless
I like.
beats. There are bad drumless beats.
That's not a reason to give a song a 6. So that's not why I don't like this one. But I have to say, I'm not sure about this particular sample. I dig the vibe, but I'm not sure how I feel about the sped up vocal portion of it. You know what I'm talking about?
No, because I only heard it once.
Okay.
Right.
Well, it gets kind of repetitive. Benny's verse is fine, but I've liked him more on all of the other records so far.
I said, where are the bars from Johnny P's Caddy? Bring those back. You know?
Goldie, I mean, again, like, he's all right. I think he's a good writer, but I find his rap voice, his delivery, it's just so, like, monotone to me. I don't get the hype, man. Like, I've not been impressed with him as everybody else seems to be, but, you know, he's just not connecting with me. The intro to his last album with Alchemist, Price of Tea in China, I think it was called. Something Caruth or something was the intro.
What is the price of tea in China right now?
Oh, geez, I don't know. But it's a good intro. But then, like, the album kind of bored me. He had more joints on the first album he did with Alchemist, Chemistry Set or something like that. But I don't know. I'm not sold on Boldy James yet. I'm somewhat, you know, indifferent to him for the most part.
I mean, I believe this is my first time hearing him, and I wrote, so this is Boldy James? That's what I wrote in my notes. You know, I got to hear him again. I can't make any calls right now, you know.
Listen to the album that he just did with Alchemist like 2 years ago.
No, that's 2 years old. That's Moldy James.
Oh my goodness! Hit the fucking. There you go. Yeah, I have not really much else to say about this one.
I said I caught something about he's rapping about Virginia and Teddy Riley, something like that, and he said they mad I'm back rapping about dope again. I said I'm not mad, but are there other raps from him? I like to hear those. You know. And that was it. That's all I got. All right. Well, what is the Perry's? Is that a location of something? I assume it is.
If I'm not mistaken, now I might sound like a complete fucking idiot, but I think it's referring to Fred Perry's, which are shoes, but maybe I'm getting those mistaken with something else.
Oh, so he's like in an article of clothing.
Perry,
okay.
Let's see, Fred Perry, what is it? Clothing?
I guess
Perry's, they're polos. Fred Perry, shoes. They got shoes. Yeah, they got shoes with like their little emblem on it. Maybe these are the Perrys. That would be my guess, but I might sound like a complete fucking idiot. So, it's a good time to mention we have a hotline if you want to call in, 718-635-0743. It's 718-635.
Tell us what the Perrys are. We don't know.
0743. What are the Perrys, if I am mistaken, and they are not Fred Perry's?
What if it's like daggone what is it? Piercings or something, you know, Perry Saturn. Maybe he's got stuff pierced all
we gotta
over
move on.
Okay. Track 5, 10 More Commandments. Okay.
Featuring Diddy, produced by Derringer and Beat Butcher.
Look, getting Diddy on this isn't gonna make this any. I see what you were trying to do here. All right, and I'm giving it a flat 6.
Giving it a 6+. Ding me, baby.
Okay.
Wait, no, don't ding me. Buzz me, which you did.
I buzzed you. Yeah.
Yeah, 6+. Man, I gotta tell you, I feel like if this existed 15 years ago on a random mixtape, it might have been a 7 and nothing more.
Mm-hmm.
On an album, almost having Diddy on it makes it worse to me in a way. It's like, you have to get this guy to stamp this record because It's like
Why
sacrilegious.
do these legends sell out so fast for stuff?
This is Austin coming back to wrestle Kevin Owens. This is what Diddy is doing right now. Okay?
That's the energy I'm getting from this.
Honestly, the paranoid sort of like frenetic sounding piano in here, real gritty sounding drums. We got Diddy ad-libs, and Benny's playing off
Papoose already do this?
He might have done. I mean, listen, he's counting down from 20 till 11 on the new crap commandments, basically, the new more commandments. And, like, I mean, there's paying homage, and then there's, like, being a mark. And,
you know,
this is kind of like being a mark, in my opinion.
He tried to make us accept it by getting Diddy involved.
I wrote 15 years ago, this would have been a mixtape classic to people. Today, this sounds kind of weird. Diddy ad-libbing and riffing at the end on the motivational tip, black unification tip, and then it's over, and you're just like, okay, that happened. We can move on. I appreciate the concept. I feel like Diddy stamping it made it worse. And Benny's not bad. He delivers with the bars in line with the concept, but I see what you're doing here, and the novelty is sort of lost on me. I just don't care.
I don't appreciate the concept. Okay, don't do sequels to deceased rapper songs, okay? I don't care if you get they mama on the record to
Don't do
sing.
sequels, period.
Just make your own thing, man.
Just make new songs.
Make new songs. Or like Moulz was saying, confine it to a mixtape, you know?
They don't make mixtapes anymore.
Where this isn't, I know that's a shame, but like when you put it on an album like this, it's like now it's a part of your legacy. You know?
Now, if artists could put out free mixtapes online with their files that you download, I don't know how many people would be down with that, but that's the outlet for this. And as far as mainstream artists are concerned, I feel like Wiz Khalifa is maybe the only one left who's putting out free download mixtapes on like live mixtapes and Dat Piff, in the current timeline. Everyone else is just, everything's on DSPs. Everything gets cleared or it just doesn't come out. And then, like you were saying, Mel, like albums leaking has been replaced by like this leak culture. You were telling me this, off air on the phone earlier. And if you're going to hear someone over like an uncleared sample, it's going to be most likely an unmixed, unfinished song. This is whatever to me. I mean, it's a novelty record. Just didn't land for me all the way.
Look, the beat has, I just wrote spinning noises.
Yeah.
There's like a bass stab. Look, I've only heard it once. So as far as the actual amendments themselves, I would need to hear it again,
Mm-hmm.
Seeing as how I'm a world-renowned drug dealer, we all know this about me, Mel the drug dealer. Only I can approve of these new commandments. All right, so I got to hear it again to know if he's really hitting on stuff. But what I did catch said no social media posting. I like that. I agree with that. Okay, that should be a no-brainer. Biggie didn't have that social media when he was around, so I get him not including it. But if we're gonna add 10 more, this should be how you trapping and you broadcasting all your moves. Okay, come on, you got to do better than that. You also said first chance you get, you better get out this shit. There you go. There you go. But I just said Diddy on here talking like he cares about the community. And then I said, no, let me not say that. I don't know that, man.
There's 20 crap commandments now, which is insane.
No, it ain't. It's still 10. Okay. These haven't been ratified. Okay. They were proposed. Mel, the drug dealer, needs to sit in on the committee.
Unfortunately, they can't get Biggie's signature, so I don't think it'll ever be.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm implying. Okay. Diddy as a surrogate is not going to work for me. But hey, I might be overruled by the rest of the committee. I don't know. That's all I got. You got anything else?
No, of course not.
Okay. Of course not.
Heard it once. I mean, what do you want me to say?
Okay, well, track 6, Tyson versus Ali. Track 6, flat 6.
Moulz Mel connect on the flat 6. Would you look at that? Okay.
Look,
I actually transcribed a lot of bars for this one, not knowing if it would make the bad website in time.
Mm-hmm.
So Griselda seemed to have a lot of these versus songs. Usually it's like wrestlers like Undertaker versus Goldberg or something like that. Conceptually, this is a record about Conway and Benny. He's featured on here. Derringer did the beat. I wrote this out. This is from Benny's first verse. He said, "They compared the greatest to the greatest, like Boston versus the Lakers. Question, does your legacy rest on depending on where you rank amongst the current and the late? If so, I feel like I'm straight, but rapping and selling weight, I just had them genetic traits. Or, do people really care? Do they just want to hear the music? Yes. So confusing. Y'all compare two redacteds from the same movement, only for y'all amusement. It's funny to me. Y'all do it. Truth is, while I'm killing shit, Conway be somewhere rooting." Okay, so he's kind of like, doing the first of 3 records on this album where he's kind of talking about Griselda's place in the game, how fans pit them against each other, all that kind of stuff. This kind of like navel-gazing, cult of personality type of rap doesn't do anything for me if I'm not part of that cult of personality. And for Benny the Butcher, I'm just not that invested to care about his gripes about how he's perceived within Griselda amongst their listeners and amongst like the naysayers and whatnot. It just doesn't interest me. He says, do people really care, or do they just want to hear the music? That's what we want. We just want to hear the music. We don't care about all of this navel gazing. I think only your most like devout, dedicated followers care about this kind of stuff. So I feel like you have to be into the lore of the Griselda collective to really buy into this. Conway, I'll say this. His verse was the better verse on the song. It was less navel-gazing. I think the verse is well constructed and delivered. There's more sauce in his delivery, more standout bars. I just don't really care about the subject matter of this song. I don't want to hear these Nobody Pray For Me ass songs. Beat was decent, but it couldn't save the song for me. The whole Tyson versus Ali refrain, take it or leave it. That's all.
There was a lot of potential here, if you ask me, because this beat, I said, tingly, slightly dreamlike beat.
I wasn't crazy about this beat at all.
Well, here's the thing. Call it Tyson versus Ali. You have this beat that kind of sounds like a fantasy scenario to me. It's like the freaking
right, like the dream sequence. Yeah, I feel it.
And I'm like, okay, look, there's a few things they could have done here. And I'm not a fantasy booking type of dude myself. I'm not really into telling rappers what they should have done. But this concept had so much potential. Maybe they could have done a record rapping like the respective styles of these boxers. Like maybe,
I thought it was going to be literally about Tyson versus Ali, like in a fantasy scenario.
Well, like that's one of the scenarios.
Like a fake boxing match almost, like, dream match, if you will.
They could have done a storytelling record like that, number one. Number two, they could have rapped in those
That's what Ghostface and Raekwon would have done.
Yeah, probably. Like, what was that? It was MGM Grand?
The MGM Grand on Wu-Tang Forever.
That's good stuff. But they could have done a storytelling record. They could have rapped, like, say, Benny could have rapped like Ali, like, kind of floating and bobbing and weaving.
Right.
And, like, Conway could have came in, slugging, heavyweight, aggressive like Tyson, Or they could have, like, rap from the perspective of these guys in the ring. Like, imagine that. Like,
that's what I was kind of expecting, or it was going to have some, like, I don't know, it was going to just be like something, we played that on This Week in Moulz Mel segment last season, and we played that song from the Summer End Cafe album by Killer Priest, and it was like Wimbledon 1936 or something like that. and he's describing this scenario. He wasn't alive in 1936, but he's writing, and the music, you know, brings out this feeling. And in his writing, there's like, you know, from his delivery and everything, it puts you there. This song ended up just being like Griselda housekeeping.
Man, Conway should have came on here. He could have been Tyson.
Do you agree Conway had the better verse though on this song between the two of them?
Barely. Like they both dropped the ball. All right. Like,
Okay.
nobody really did anything. Okay. What should have happened is Conway should have been Tyson, and he could have been like, "Wow, this guy floats like a butterfly," you know, and then freaking Benny could have been Ali, like, you know, well, when I get to hitting, Tyson's just chicken. Like he could have like really, they could have really laid into this. You
really
know?
Leaned into it. No,
they could have done that. It was right there on the table.
I think you need to give Jay-Z some like fucking weed brownies, and him and Nas can do it. I'm thinking of, you know, you see?
Oh,
you
yeah.
See?
Nas.
Yeah, see? Pretty much shake Two-Face out over some gal.
Yeah, look,
Found her
Nas
body
is
dead
very
and now.
spirited when it comes to stuff like this. So that
he doesn't have to be high, but Jay needs to be like, you know, under the influence for that.
Right, because he's too cool for most stuff. But yeah, get him high. I said,
get him high, get him high.
I'm
on the first listen. You don't need a pass for this.
Jay, no, I will call the police. Literally,
Benny the Butcher. He's like 97 Hove, and he's like 99 Hove. He said both of those on the album. I was moved.
Jay, we don't have time for you tonight. I gotta get the turnaround on this. I gotta edit this as soon as we're done. We can't be dealing with you right now.
This album is a 10 out of 12.
No, it's not. Go away. Okay.
Salute to the young king, Benny the Butcher.
I'm not saluting this when you got lines like, "Look, we throw so many quips that we can make bloopers." That is what I call an empty calorie bar. Like, it wants to be a bar. It's not really a bar. Because what does it really mean? Do you
fools even listen to music, or do you just skim through it?
We got to skim through it. It's the first listen, Jay. Okay? I heard it once. We did it because the people like this. They like hot takes. Okay? They like half-baked opinions about things as soon as they come out.
I'm here for a reason anyway. I'm not here to talk about this album, unfortunately. I have to go back home.
Good.
I have a message from Kenny from So What Games, the new board game, So What's the Scenario, the hip-hop game.
Yeah, our sponsor. Why would he give you the message to get? Why wouldn't he just email us? Why would he do this to us?
He wants to know if he can get an ad in the middle of the review, and you're at track 6, so I figured I'd come in and say, can you play the ad after the song review? And then and you come back and do track 7 after the ad, and so on and so forth.
You know, we can do that, actually, Jay. I just wish Kenny would have told us instead of relaying the message to you to relay to us. Okay, yeah, I'll make the note.
I have to go. I'm sorry. I'd love to stay because this album was...
Don't apologize.
It's this week's classic for sure.
Get out of here. Right. Only other thing I have to say, I think Conway said, you know, speaking to Benny, they tried to pick you off, but that's really a moving screen. Okay,
I told Conway, I said, no more red cap. We going home.
Go home, then.
I told Conway, and he said, okay.
Home. Please, God. All season long.
No, we got to get rid of Jay. For good.
I know this. Why do you tell me like I don't know this? I've been saying this forever. Okay?
I know when I'm not wanted, I'm going to just leave.
No, you don't. Clearly you don't, because you keep coming back.
You just leave now. You don't have to say, I'm going to leave, and you just leave. I'm leaving. Play the ad. Don't forget.
We're going to play the ad. Go. Leave. Goodbye.
Oh, my goodness.
God. As I was saying, that line, they tried to pick you off, but that's really a moving screen.
Kenny didn't send him here. There's no way.
I mean, I don't know why Jay would lie about that. I think Kenny really did. But, Yeah, look, I'm not as much of a football man as I am a basketball man, but pick you off, that sounds like, football talk, interceptions, and moving screens are in basketball, unless they're in football too. I don't. So look, 718-635-0743. Call in. Does that line not make sense, or do I not know enough about sports? Okay.
Sports Mel is being tested.
I'm being tested because he's talking to me. It sounds like two different sports. A moving screen happens in basketball. Getting picked off, that happens in football. So, like, what is he? Is this a nonsense bar, or is he actually on to something? I don't know. That's all I got for this. You want to move on?
It's our fiduciary responsibility to our shareholders to move on, I think.
We ain't got no shareholders, but we do have a sponsor, and we love him very much. So, at his request, through Jay, I guess, we're going to hit this ad, and then we'll be back for track 7. How does that sound?
Sounds great. Let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Hey, Rap Rankings faithful, or should I say faithful?
Mel, please try to keep the rap speak at a minimum here. It's an ad. We have money on the line.
All right, okay, good point. Fair enough. Well, after bringing you some of the most creative sponsorship lies in the podcast game, i.e. the brisk pace sponsored by Lipton, Rap Rankings finally has a real sponsor. And unlike Lipton Brisk, we don't have to pretend to like it.
That's right, folks. So listen up, because it's time to play the game.
Oh, no. Triple H? Hip-hop homophobia? Do I have to hit the drop?
No, not that game. This game.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So what's the scenario? The hip-hop debate game. Argue, diss, and battle your way to victory using your favorite rappers, real skill ratings, and unique scenarios. Ever wanted to verbally dominate your friends and family like the captain?
Or tell them they ain't black while flexing superior hip-hop appreciation and taste like I do to Moulz on the show?
Or insist that you know about them while winning game after game like our third member, Jesse?
Then this is the game for you.
So, if you're interested in rolling some dice and securing bragging rights after coming out victorious in debates about hip-hop, head on over to SoWhatGames.com to purchase your copy of So What's the Scenario.
And don't forget to use our affiliate code RAB, that's R-A-B, to get free shipping.
Yep, RAB is officially certified in the sponsorship game, and we couldn't have found a better fit. So if you're a fan of Rap Rankings, then you'll most certainly be a fan of So What's the Scenario.
Couldn't agree more. Also, it's not like I can endorse Blue Chew in good faith as I'm a virgin, and Blue Apron wasn't going to work either because I can't cook,
And on that note, before Mel scares the potential customers away, we're out of here. So go to SoWhatGames.com, make your purchase, use RAB, that's R-A-B, at checkout to secure free shipping, assemble your crew, and prepare to enjoy So What's the Scenario. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, let's get to the review.
All right, we're back. We can continue this review.
An ad-supported piece of content. That's what you're listening to.
Folks, if you're listening to this, last time we did one of these first listens, we ain't even have no sponsor. You see how we be growing? This is amazing. It's good stuff. But enough about us. Yeah, we got to continue this review. So, track 7, Uncle Bun. 7-.
Obviously,
I said that like Borat. 7-.
This is what I call dinner roll when, we see each other in person.
We don't need to talk about him. What's your rating?
6+.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Does me. This one could go up, potentially. I think the beat's interesting. Kind of cold and eerie. The tempo is a bit slow. But the drum sounds, like the actual, like for instance, what's in place of the snare sound, very unique sounding. I'm a 38 Special fan, for the record.
Okay, I was impressed by this guy. This is my first time hearing him.
He's got mad shit. I
like this guy.
I'll put you on to 38 Special. Okay, this guy's got bars. They're trading bars back and forth, almost reminiscent of like Styles P and Jadakiss. I note here that Spesh has a great rap voice and delivery.
Yep. Yeah, I noted that. Energy, voice, his approach to this, I appreciated it.
But unfortunately, this is kind of short. The hook is complete afterthought to me. I enjoy the trading of bars. I find the beat interesting.
Most hooks on here are complete afterthoughts.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So,
the beat's interesting. I enjoy the trading of the bars, but it's just the song comes and goes in like 2.5 minutes. I wanted just a little bit more out of this one. I felt like it was close, but not quite for me. 38 Spesh is legit, though. If you've never listened to him, I doubt you'd be listening to a Benny the Butcher first listen review, but check him out if you've never heard him. Check out some of his mixtapes. He's got mixtapes and shit.
I don't mind this being short because so far, I think for me, Benny the Butcher is one of those artists where the longer he stays, the more of a chance that the record is going to fall in enjoyment. So short and sweet is probably best for him when it comes to me. And I like this. Like you said, the beat is a creepy beat. I like the creepy beat. I like the snare. But I will say this up top. They should have picked a different title. I know why they called it this because the one line, the Underground King, like I'm Uncle Bun. And I said, he's Uncle Bun now? I mean, I know he's an OG at this point, but
he's Uncle Bun. He's Uncle Bun. Come on.
Okay, so Uncle Bun, Uncle Snoop. Okay.
Yeah, he's Uncle Bun.
He's Uncle
but
Bun. All right.
Why is this Uncle Bun? I mean,
right. It shouldn't be called. It was one
line
Uncle
in
Bun,
the song. I almost expect an uncredited special feature from Uncle Bun himself.
You know, or like a more Underground King sounding beat. This is like this. I don't get why this is titled.
You could have actually called the next song Uncle Bun, and it would have made more sense. But we could get into that when we get into the next song.
Yeah, the title could have been a different title, but hey, it's just a title, I guess, at the end of the day. Yeah, we already talked about it, but I said I want to hear more from this Spesh guy. The line, turn this one brick to a family of white bitches, that was hard.
Check out his album Interstate 38 and his mixtape 1995.
1995, huh?
Yes.
I was 2 years old.
1995, I've said it before, I'll say it again, is the year in which all 90s nostalgia is built off of.
Yeah, this is a Moulz theory, folks. We've discussed it off air and on air, I believe, at some point. But yeah,
and
makes
and
sense. It was the middle of the decade.
In the words of the leader of a former cult that Mel and I were a part of, 1999 is 2000.
When did he say this?
He didn't, but it sounds like something he would say.
Okay. Anyway, I don't know if it was Benny or Spesh. I don't know, but the line, 2 clips, one for you and your alter ego. That was all right. That was cool. I like that. Benny, I believe, is everybody eat. Yeah, I think like a socialist, you know. I at least understood that line, unlike one of my favorite rappers of all time, Lil Wayne, saying, I am the hip-hop socialist. We still never got an explanation.
And yet Lil Wayne's line is 10 times harder.
It is, because it's enigmatic. We don't know what it means. It's provocative. It gets people going, okay? I am the hip-hop socialist is one of those lines, all right?
Considering how many verses he gave out during his prime, he really was. I mean...
Wow. Yeah, you know, maybe that's what he meant.
Maybe that's what he meant, but who knows? We can move on. I have nothing left to say here.
Yeah, we can move on. Oh yeah, Benny's talking about he sold work to pregnant people and was emotionless about it. I mean, are you bragging about this? Or are you trying to fortify this?
I've heard too many coke rappers at this point talk about selling coke to like babies and
their family members. We're gonna get more of this throughout the album, and I'm just like, okay.
I've heard it way too many times now for it to hit like it hit.
But even like that on that like hitting, it's like at a certain point, it's like, well, what are you trying to say here? Because like this isn't. I know you're trying to show how dark the game can be,
how this life has you, how crazy this life has
right. But if you keep bringing it up, it's like, are you bragging about this? Like,
I think just to show almost the sort of depth.
Just say it once, because if you keep talking about it, I'm starting to think you aren't trying to imply a level of regret, and maybe you're proud of this. I don't know, you know. But anyway, yeah, you want to move on?
I think it's only right that we do.
Okay. Track 8, Thowy's Revenge? Thowy? Thowy? I don't know.
Your guess is as good as mine. Produced by Alchemist.
Okay, well, listen, his Revenge, none of my business. 6+.
Wow, flat 7. Ding me, baby. I found this beat to be interesting. I call this a royalty beat.
Okay.
With those, like, trumpet sounds in it.
Okay, I said, yeah, that angelic sound.
Yes, that, like, regal, royal sort of sound to it.
Yeah.
Has some Southern-style hi-hat programming. I'm surprised this is an Alchemist beat, but this album
by the way, he called him Uncle Al.
Yeah, Uncle Al.
You know.
This has been Alchemist's return to form for me production-wise throughout this album. That's the big story coming out of this album for me. I don't like the chorus here, so I can't go higher than a 7. And I think it's weird. The mixing on this beat feels like the vocals are a bit loud over the beat, and I need them to come down just a touch. But I still like this beat a lot. This is probably Benny with his most, like, swaggy bars of the album so far. There's still some, like, stuff, like some bars of substance in there and, like, gems that he's dropping. But overall, he's kind of making almost like a pseudo commercial joint with this one. Am I crazy for hearing Drake or Jack Harlow on a remix of this?
I need to hear the song again to know if you're crazy or not. But
sounded like Drake, Jack Harlow-ish to me. So I don't know.
They're hanging out a lot together.
It's an interesting beat. The vocals were mixed too loud over it, and I don't like the chorus, but otherwise, I like it. Checks out. Flat 7.
I said, yeah, the beat started picking up with that angelic sound. I said, Benny be tricking y'all. I'm leaning towards him.
This wasn't a lyrical song though. This was like clearly.
But at this point in the album, 8 tracks in, and I've really only been impressed.
I've been impressed twice so
on
far.
The intro.
For me,
I feel like he's
second verse on Super Plug and his verse on the intro.
Look, I'm calling him a meat and potatoes rapper at this point. Okay,
he's always been a meat and potatoes
he's like
rapper.
One of the elite MCs, and I'm like,
well, he's always been meat and potatoes, but meat and potatoes isn't bad. It's just
no, it's not bad, but for the way they've been talking and what I was expecting, it's like, oh, I thought he was gonna be above average, And I'm getting personally, I'm getting average energy, Clearly not a bad rapper, not even close to that, but an exceptional rapper. I think he's tricking y'all. Okay,
I wouldn't say exceptional. I'd say he has his moments where he's exceptional, but for the most part, meat and potatoes.
Okay. Well, that's really all I got for that. And I mean, other than I said he was, I said this hook. Why is he doing this hook like an amateur? I'm not calling him an amateur. Just the hook. It sounds like it was delivered by a person who like
this
just.
Hook. This might be the worst hook on the whole album, which sucks because it's probably the catchiest beat on the whole album.
I like the beat, but I don't even remember what it sounds like at this point. But
we can move on.
Okay, well, let's move on. Oh, by the way, don't look now, but we're having a papoose moment right now with this Wi-Fi.
Oh,
I'm looking at the router.
You shouldn't.
No, I'm serious. I see this orange light, but somehow we're still communicating.
Don't tell me this is going to be some Corey Allen shit. Don't touch anything. Don't touch nothing. Sit in the car, okay?
Yeah, I don't want to, but like, folks, this is the second time in the show's history where the router is telling me I don't have a connection, but yet Moulz and I are still communicating. And last time we said the show was being sustained through the power of rap. So I guess it's happening again.
Well, it wasn't the power of rap. We came to find out it was
demonic possession. But
yeah, I'm not rehashing that situation. If I get possessed by a demon again, we're just gonna have to thug it out, okay? I'm not dealing with that again.
Okay. All right. Well, Yeah, let's move on and hope that this doesn't derail this entire review here. Track 9, Billy Joe. Darn, I was hoping for Billy Joel. Flat 6.
7-. Ding Me Baby.
Okay. I gotta hit something, because at this point in the album, this is what I'm feeling.
This is Running on Empty.
Okay, I'm running on empty.
Oh, really? Point. I was going to ask for that on the next track, but...
okay. Well, I'll keep it in the sound board.
I like this. I like this, but again, Alchemist on the beat, some organs, haunting vocal sample coming in and out.
Oh, the light's green! The light's green again. It's green
shit.
again.
It's lit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this haunting, like, female vocal sample coming in and out like a ghost.
I said the sample sounds good, but the beat isn't something that I would touch. I'm a bit bored by it. I'd rather hear the sample.
Alchemist is back as far as I'm concerned. Benny, he had some bars on this.
Did he?
Benny?
Yeah, I'm saying did he? Because I ain't hear him. Okay.
But then there were some bars that I was just like, come on. They make me out to be the villain. I stay poised as Putin be.
I said, really? In this climate? Conceited face. Okay. I mean, maybe this was recorded before the events of, like, the past however
definitely
many weeks.
Was, because he announced
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here.
The album was done and, like, a month or two ago. Easily.
Yeah. You know.
Because when he announced the release date, like, that was kind of like an album has been submitted sort of deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just, it's not even due to the bar, like, within the current circumstances of things. It's just like, it's another bar in the second verse that I thought was kind of weak, where he was like,
I'm driving fast shit like the cast from Talladega Nights, because that was weak to me.
Oh, yeah, that's this year I feel like I'm 99 Hove, but he said he was 97 Hove, I think, like 2 songs earlier. So
he's trying to be all the Hoves at this
He's trying to be all the Hoves. 97, 99. I mean, what are you, 2K?
We could get into the 2K ratings of the different Hoves.
We did his whole discography on our show.
That's right.
Season
2 out now, the Jay-Z season.
No more of him, please. Between the references and him showing up here, and then everything else with him. I mean, this is a podcast about Jay-Z. That's what we've floated now, that this could be a Jay-Z podcast after all.
This ain't no podcast about Jay-Z. It's a podcast about trying to kick Jay-Z out of our studio, okay? You rate one album, great score, and he's at the top of the board. Now we can't get rid of him. All right.
He's number one. Reasonable Doubt is number one on our board on raprankings.com.
Well, you know what else is number one? Piss.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, piss is the number one. Piss is the number one thing that comes out of people.
Yeah, probably. People do urinate more than they defecate. This is true.
I would have to assume. I'd be worried if it was the other way around, actually.
Oh, I'd hate that. Oh, God. You know how much... I mean, life is already unbearable. You know how much more unbearable it would be if you just had to doo-doo all the time? Anyway. This isn't bodily waste rankings. This is rap rankings. And I've heard better raps.
I like the beat. The beat saved this one for me. But Benny had some bars that I did like on here. It's just there were some bars that stood out as being particularly like okay, like eye rolling, like get it out of here, wave it out of here, no more.
Do you like this this wordy hook?
No.
Okay. I mean, the good thing of at least it had like a structure.
I gotta be honest, I haven't liked wordy hooks since like the 90s. I mean, like the 90s are some good wordy hooks. We did some in like the Wu-Tang season, Mobb Deep, Infamous album. There's some hooks that can be wordy and almost like mini raps within themselves sometimes.
There's a way to do it for sure.
And I feel like it's a bit of a lost art, and I don't like it as much these days from newer rappers especially. who didn't
The
come
only
up
good
doing
thing
it.
I can say about it is this has a structure and a format because he's doing like, you know, the first of the month and then by the third of the month. But he's back on this like selling the drugs to his family. And once again, I'm like, I get that this happens. I understand that. But why keep bringing it up? Because it sounds like you're ragging. You know? It's like, or is this like him working through the trauma? Like he keeps bringing it up because it's plaguing him. I don't know. I ain't never sold no drugs. But I'm just at this point, I'm running on empty, and I'm thinking, yo, cut that Conway back on that dropped a few weeks ago, okay? Because that was some good Griselda, okay? Give me more of that Conway. That's what I need, okay?
You know what I need?
What do you need?
Hold on.
Are you gonna fart into the mic?
No, that's your gimmick. I don't do that shit. That's
okay.
Fucking gross. I never fart into my mic.
Sure. Okay.
I'm gonna go back and listen to the Weekend Dawn FM, I guess.
What? Okay.
Getting ready for WrestleMania. I'm listening to the official new WWE artist, The Weeknd. He just replaced Flo Rida.
Oh man. Yeah, he has a unofficial deal, I believe, with World Wrestling Entertainment. Like he soundtracked what? Like the last
there's too much, like 3 WrestleManias and like 2 Survivor Series, I think.
Yeah, it's wild. Okay. Yeah, proof. Here's some proof for y'all, okay? You'll hear it in the background, and also this.
You know what's crazy? West Side Gun's always going on about like he wishes WWE would like acknowledge him and let him do some shit with them officially, and he spends all this money to fly to their different shows and be front row, and they just like they don't cut to him on TV as like a celebrity, and he's gone off on a few rants on Twitter about it, and I'm thinking like, damn man, like all this, and meanwhile The Weeknd of all people, this guy's getting everything from WWE. They're giving him and Bad Bunny, bro. They're like, well, Bad Bunny's legit like a big wrestling fan, but I don't know about The Weeknd. I never thought that this like unholy alliance between Vince McMahon and The Weeknd would take shape the way it has.
Vince and Weeknd, the 2-man powder trip.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, folks, we're not making this up. Listen to this, and this also doubles as how y'all talk about Griselda every day.
Amazing, astounding, marvelous, astonishing, phenomenal, breathtaking, smashing, superb, fabulous, fantastic, tremendous, wondrous, monumental, mind-blowing, terrific, radical, colossal, dynamite, staggering.
Okay. There you go. All right. So, you want to move on from Billy Joe?
Yeah.
AKA the rabified version of Billy Joe?
Exactly.
All right. Track 10, Guerrero. Listen, this ain't Eddie, 6-.
Yeah, this must be like fucking Chavo or something, but not.
No,
maybe
Chavo's
not even
better than this.
This might be
Vicky's better than this.
This might be Dominic Mysterio. The freaking
leave Dominic alone, man. He's trying. Okay.
No, he's not. Okay. You don't watch, so you don't know. You leave him alone.
True, I don't.
he fucking sucks. He's the worst second-generation wrestler I've ever seen in my life.
Let's not do this right now. What's your rating?
He's a chump. 6-.
Worst song on the Connect.
Worst song on the album. Beat is definitely the most boilerplate Griselda-sounding beat since either Crack Commandments or Back Back. 90% of this album has not been drumless, so stop crying about drumless beats. Interesting flow and delivery from Benny on here. But this beat with all these digital bleeps and bloops and slow tempo is not lighting my world on
sounds
fire.
Like a server room.
Yeah, this
like
beat
doing
doesn't
its
do
processes.
It for me. Derringer and Beat Butcher on the beat, by the way. West Side Gun is up next. Not a fan of this guy's rap voice at all. Very grating, which sucks because he has a great production lineup on a lot of his albums. Great curator, average rapper, but such a viscerally irritating timbre to his voice. I find it difficult to listen to him for any stretch, really.
Y'all really listen to West Side Gun rap? Like, is that what y'all really do out here? Like this dude that raps like Shriek from Cat Dog?
It sounds like a cat stuck under a tire.
You know, I mean, like...
It's just, I can't listen to this. This is...
The thing is, I'm not even... Like, I'm not like most people, like, I'm not irritated by it, but I can't imagine stomaching this for a whole album.
I'm irritated.
You know?
I find his delivery, his rap voice, just everything about it, it's painful to listen to for me. And yet, he's got some amazing beats on his albums. So, what are we going to do?
Yeah, look, I just said, you know, this content. Rappers are just, God, decades of them recycling.
Where's the homie?
Oh, yeah, you need the homie, right? You said you need the homie for this. Hold on, let me bring the homie in. Folks, you heard from the homie from me last track. The homie is Report of the Week. And here he is again.
This is Running on Empty.
Yeah, Moulz is running on empty.
Let's wrap this up, guys. One more song, and that's it.
This is rappers. Please stop recycling the same figures. We get it. Joe Pesci, Tony Montana, Benny Blanco, Nino Brown. All we know, okay? We know. We've seen the movies. We know. All right? Please stop. No more. Okay? No more. You want to move on?
We have to.
Track 11, Bust a Brick Nick. Okay, now we're talking 7-.
7+, actually. Tied with...
Guess we weren't running on empty after
all.
all.
Did I give anything else a 7+ on this fucking album? No. This is my second favorite song on the album.
Yeah,
now,
it's...
The Reborn Alchemist is once again checking in. He's back. We love it. We're happy. We're thrilled. We're fucking setting off fireworks in the street and pissing in dumpsters. Beats fire. All right. We're fucking doing all kinds of crazy shit to this beat. Kind of hard to describe the beat, honestly. I usually try to come up with some words to describe it. I can't describe this beat at all.
I said sparkly loop, riding music. Big fan of this snare. That's all I said.
I popped huge from Benny when he said the East Side
Ted Turner.
Come on. I popped huge when he said he was landing in Burbank. Here's a pro tip for you guys. If you're in California, trying to go to LA, fly in and out of Burbank Airport, Bob Hope Airport. So much less of a pain in the ass in and out than LAX. Pro tip from your boy Moulz. I'm feeling this one. Other than the fact there's like a crypto flex by Benny. One of the bars, he's talking about that crypto. We know about that shit. That shit's cap. Where's AJ Styles? That's how we feel about crypto. Otherwise, hard bars, lots of passion in the delivery. This is the third instance, I think, of Benny going hard and delivering bars, aside from that crypto bullshit, that I thought were dope. It's his third best performance on the album overall, but it's my second favorite song.
Look, cryptocurrency.
Yeah, paperwork. That's cap. Totally cap. That means lie.
Where's your
the only
paperwork?
crypto coin I would ever buy is if, never mind, because I would hate it. But like, if they made actual like crypto coin, like the Crypt Keeper.
Oh, Tales from the Crypt? No, I'm not fucking with that. That's how they get fucking suckers to buy in. He's like, I held off until now, but now that the Crypt Keeper's involved, I can't stay away. You know, like, nah, fuck that. Okay. Fuck you. Like, if the Crypt Keeper did that, I have to tell the Crypt Keeper to suck me. And he's not going to do that, so don't worry. And the Crypt Keeper's rights are so tied up and fucked up anyway that luckily he can't be exploited like this in this current moment. But I'll say this, I would buy one crypto coin. If McDonald's got in the game and dropped a coin, I'd cop a McDonald's coin. I would. Well, what can I say? The way that like patriots feel about America, I feel about McDonald's. And I would buy their fucking coin because I know that shit would go to the moon, baby. But otherwise, fuck those coins, Benny. Get out of the coin game before fucking Joe Byron pulls some shit, makes all these coins tank. All right, Russians, Chinese, the crypto, the sanctions. Don't get caught up in all this shit. Get out of this shit while you still can, Benny. That's my word of advice to Benny the Butcho. Seems like a nice guy. Actually, I don't know what he seems like. He seems decent enough. decent enough to not want to see him get ripped off, you know?
Yeah. What does he say?
It's a good one. 7+. Alchemist is back. Welcome back to my good pal, Uncle Al.
He has a bar like, to get ahead in his business, like he just says, stay out of your feelings to advance further. Yeah, that's good advice. He was like, it's hard to smile on my 36th birthday. Karma I probably deserve. I felt that bar. That was a good emo Mel bar.
Benny's back. A little too late, but he's back.
This was the performance, the only other performance, I think, or there was another one. I think it's actually the next track, spoiler alert. But yeah, this is like, I'm like, where was this guy? Best rapping since the first track. He's like, the jewels on my shirt say, come here, bitch, I don't skirt chase, or something like that. That was bar. That was a bar. It's like, how you gonna call me Hollywood, bitch? You ain't never been. I got a closet full of measuring cups and dead presidents. I mean, he was actually getting his bars off on here. Okay. But before we get to the last track, this is my take on Griselda. Okay. Even with the Conway album, which I like all but one track, that's one of my, what was that, like my album of the year so far? Griselda to me is meat and potatoes rappers that thrive because they bit Rock Marciano and they pushed a lot of aesthetic.
Wu-Tang members as well, I would say.
Yeah, they're very aesthetic. Like, it's all, I've seen their album covers and like, I don't know, it's all this Hitler and Hermes but look, they are trapping meets Tumblr to me.
Right.
Okay, that's Griselda to me. Give or take some elements. They got a good album with me though. This Conway album. Maybe there are more out there that I would like, but if I get to them, I get to them. You want to move on to this final track?
Please.
Okay. Track 12, Mr. Chow Hall. At least we end on a good note. 7-.
I wish I could agree with you there, but I don't. 6+.
Oh man, racist Moulz struck again. My man, Mr.
Alchemist,
Chow, he didn't
Alchemist on the beat. He's back. I found this to be an extremely interesting kind of dreamlike beat from Alchemist, but extremely glacial tempo. Like, we're back in the Griselda tempo range that I'm not a huge fan of, and more Cult of Personality bars to close it out. And then the tempo slows down even more to like a YouTube time stretch 500 minutes out of 4-minute song levels of like the thing just kind of slows down to a halt and then the album is over. But I wasn't feeling Benny on here because he was in that Cult of Personality lane where he's talking about Griselda and all the way that he's perceived, and it's just like, I've heard this already on the album. I've had enough and I'm running on empty.
That happens. Look, I don't mind it as much, even though I'm not invested in it, because the beat carried on here. Okay, I'm a big fan of this beat.
Alchemist brought his A game to this album, and he's the Alchemist, so I hope he bring his A game.
Well, because his name starts with A.
Yeah, A is for Alchemist. Alk is back. I'm so thrilled that he's back that I don't care that this album is a complete mixed bag for me.
This beat, Mel's Wacky Scenario again. I said this beat sounds like high school Mel waiting for his parents to leave the house so he can touch himself.
Jesus, this and this 38 Special song, both 6+. Oh, and 10 More Commandments are 6+. So there's 3. I don't see any of them going up, to be honest.
Line that stood out to me very early in the song. I don't trust a fiend unless his fingertips burnt. Thought that's
a good one.
Yeah. And that's basically it. I mean, I'm really here for the beat on this. I don't know about the Griselda. I'm sure the bleeped out censor parts are about Shady Records, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think he was involved in that deal. I think that was just.
And I think that's what he was talking about. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't care. Where's Oscar? Okay, we need Oscar.
When it comes to Griselda Cult of Personality raps.
Yeah, when it comes to that and all that, from Moulz Mel.
We don't care.
Yeah. But
yeah, Mel, 6 out of 12 for me.
Oh, I gotta hit him with the formality. You want to rate this thing?
Sure. 6 out of 12 for me. 50% takeaway, 79 out of available, 120 points for a 65% average rating, giving me a weighted rating of 57.5%. My dreaded 57.5. When I see 57.5, I know what it means. It means 50% takeaway and 1/8 or less.
And you're probably not interested in hearing the album again.
Probably not, but I got 6 more Benny the Butcher songs, I guess, that I like.
Well, for me,
it wasn't a total wash, Mel. I did enjoy my time listening to this. It was just, you know, I'm just probably not going to return to this one because it didn't knock my socks off. That's all. Spoiler, since you talked about the Conway, same score on the Conway for me. I like the same number of songs, only 1/8 on that album for me. Stressed, I think the song is called.
Oh, you like that too?
That's my favorite.
One of my favorite records of the year.
That's my favorite song on the album. It's one of the best rap songs of the year.
Yeah, agreed. Ooh, look at that.
But yeah, same deal. 57.5. Like, I don't know, run of the mill, meat and potatoes, middle of the pack. You know, it's just doesn't inspire hatred or enthusiasm for me. It's just, it happened. 57.5. What about you, Mom?
Well, sorry, I was finishing off this Big Dutty 300 milligrams of caffeine, but yeah, 4 out of 12 for me. I liked a third of the album. That's it.
Okay. I like half. You liked a third.
Yeah, 77 out of 120 points for me. That's what is that? A daggone 64% average rating. So at 33 plus 64 divided by 2, my weighted rating 48.5%. You know, and even though this isn't going on the board, let's see where it, you know.
Yeah. 57.5 plus 48 divided by 2 would give us, technically, if this were to go on the board,
57.5 or 57.75?
57.5.
Okay. So that would be a Rap Rankings weighted rating of 53%.
Okay, that would
if it were to go on the board, which it isn't because it's the first listen.
Yes, so were it to go on the board, it would currently be the new number 91 album on the board out of what would be like 110 albums, 111 albums overall.
Man, that's kind of low. Really?
Yeah, it would be above the Cradle to the Grave soundtrack and below the Trespass soundtrack.
Oh, no, it's in soundtrack hell.
Yeah.
Well, look, he lucked out because he's not going on the board. You know, we're not putting nobody on the board off of a freaking
first listen, hot take, new album review, no re-listens,
snap judgment. Come on, what kind of raters are we?
But we like to do this because you like to hear it. So if you, all my butchers out there, put your cleavers in the air, okay? Put your take off your aprons and swing them around, and be proud that this guy Benny is putting on for your profession in such a way.
Well, we did it.
Yeah,
first listen in
yes.
October,
Who's
November,
next,
December.
Mel? Pusha T, Kendrick Lamar. I mean, who could pop up? Who could pop up next to be the next subject of a first listen new album review? I guess we'll have to find out.
Guess we will. But until then, it's Moulz Mel signing out, right?
That's right. So we'll see you this Wednesday for Prodigy and Alchemist. Hey, Alchemist is back, and we're doing Prodigy and Alchemist Return of the Mac.
Look at this white privilege. This man is snuck in two plugs in the same week. This guy.
He's back. He's Jewish.
Hey, shout out to that. We just talked about the J's and the B's, you know?
Yeah.
We know about our hip-hop connection.
We'll talk about him more on the Prodigy and Alchemist Return of the Mac review this Wednesday. But for now, be proud of all the butchers out there. Stand up. That's what I got to say. Every butcher.
All right. Okay.
Every butcher.
That was closed. We only... Moulz is spiraling. So I'm going to shut the review down.
Cut that meat. And cut that meat, man. Cut that meat. Okay?
Over in Melville, we say beat that meat. So there's nothing else left to say. Good night. Thanks, folks.
Fuck 'em.
And we'll see you around, I guess.
Sure.